The morning air was sharp, heavy with the scent of dew-soaked grass, when Sarah's screams sliced through the quiet like a siren. Her pristine Mercedes sat trapped behind a 6-foot steel fence I'd erected overnight, its heavy-duty padlock gleaming defiantly in the dawn light. I stood just inside the gate, my rooster Rusty clucking softly at my boots, and gave her a casual shrug. "You shouldn't park on someone else's land," I said, my voice calm but edged with steel. Sarah's face turned a furious shade of red, her eyes flashing with the kind of indignation only a boardroom queen could muster. "This is absurd," she spat, hurling threats about lawsuits, zoning boards, and emergency locksmiths. I turned back to my hens, their gentle clucks a soothing counterpoint to her rage, and let her stew in her own fury. It all started 2 weeks earlier, with a sharp rap on my gate that cut through the early morning calm like a warning shot. I'd just poured a steaming mug of coffee, the mist still clinging to the fields, when Sarah appeared, clipboard clutched like a weapon, her neon vest screaming self-appointed authority. Her lips were pursed so tight they could have cracked stone. "No hello, no pleasantries, just a pointed finger at my new chicken coop behind the barn. That structure requires a permit," she declared, sunglasses perched like a crown. I took a slow sip of coffee, sizing her up. "Ma'am, you'll need to give me your name before you tell me what I need." Her jaw clenched. "Sarah, president of the Pine Hollow HOA. You're violating multiple codes, and I need that permit now." The word HOA hit like a sour chord. I set my mug on the fence post. "Sarah," I said, slow and deliberate, "you're standing on the wrong side of this fence. This land isn't in your HOA." She let out a sharp, condescending laugh. "This entire area falls under Pine Hollow's jurisdiction, including your property." I smiled, the kind forged from late nights studying legal maps. "No, it doesn't." Her eyes narrowed. "Yes, it does." I shook my head. "It doesn't," she huffed, vowing to escalate, and stormed back to her Mercedes, its tires grazing the edge of my land. I knew then she was trouble that wouldn't just fade away. I pulled my land and legal folder from the cabinet, a fortress of proof, property surveys, county maps, and an exemption that carved my land out of Pine Hollow's reach, thanks to a creek bend and an old survey line. I'd bought this place to escape people like Sarah, with their rules about lawn ornaments and approved paint shades. The coop was the first step in my homestead dream. Chickens now, maybe bees later. But Sarah kept coming back, snapping photos of the coop, taping violation notices to my gate, glaring from her idling car. I waved. She didn't. One night, my new motion cameras caught her sneaking over the fence with a flashlight and measuring tape, muttering about easements in her slippers. I filed a trespassing report. The sheriff, a buddy from the farmer's market, chuckled over his "world's okayest cop" mug. "She's been calling about stray cats and wind chimes all week," he said. "Wants to rezone the whole valley." The county inspector came, admired the coop's sturdy build, and confirmed I was in the clear. Sarah's Mercedes idled nearby, watching. That's when I hatched a plan. I measured a rectangle around the gravel patch where she parked, just wide enough to frame her car. It was bold, legal, and deliciously petty. I bought Quikrete, steel posts, and a padlock that could secure a vault. The hardware store clerk grinned. "Building a fortress?" "Close enough," I said. I worked fast, driving posts with ringing clangs, pouring concrete, and watching Sarah's car slow as she spotted the emerging fence. She stormed over, clipboard in hand. "This is harassment," she snapped. "You're blocking access." I wiped sweat from my brow. "Access to what?" "This is my land." She faltered, clutching her survey like a shield. "It's a public right-of-way." I handed her a laminated county map. "The road ends there. Everything past it is mine." Her voice cracked. "This is petty. So's threatening fines you can't enforce." I shot back. She retreated, tires spitting gravel. By dusk, the fence was only a perfect rectangle with a locked gate facing my driveway. I sat inside it, sipping lemonade, Rusty clucking approval. The next morning, Sarah's Mercedes rolled up. She stepped out, heels sinking into gravel, and tugged the gate, her face a mask of disbelief. From my porch, I watched, coffee in hand. "You fenced me out," she shouted. "Fenced myself in," I corrected. "Your car just likes to park on my land." She called it a violation of community standards. I reminded her there was no HOA here. She threatened lawyers. I offered to show them my drone footage of her nighttime trespassing. She drove off, fuming. The county sent a weary official, Tom, who confirmed the fence was legal. She's not the first to complain, he said, eyeing Sarah's idling car. That night, I caught her on camera again, prying at the lock. I filed another report. Then things exploded. A neighbor's video of Sarah yanking the gate went viral, dubbed HOA Sarah vs. the Chicken Boss. Local news arrived Jake, a flea market reporter, and a young camerawoman. They filmed the fence, interviewed me by the Coop, Rusty stealing the show. Sarah's response video claimed I was endangering the community with my rogue livestock pen. She threatened a protest. I said I'd make popcorn. The protest came signs reading "Free the Hens" and "Rusty for Governor." Sarah called the sheriff, who left with a donut and a sigh. I added a chicken-sized flagpole to the fence, its banner reading "Not HOA Property." Sarah drove by during my mock salute, her face unreadable. Then came the summons. Sarah sued for property obstruction and emotional distress, her lawyer Michael claiming my fence caused reputational harm. My friend Alex, a real estate lawyer, laughed at the flimsy case. In court, Sarah's tearful testimony about her trauma crumbled against my evidence: surveys, permits, footage. The judge, a sharp-eyed woman, dismissed the case and fined Sarah for frivolity. I walked out lighter, Rusty strutting when I got home. 2 weeks later, Sarah was gone, her house emptied by a moving truck. New neighbors, Tom and Grace, arrived with a pie and a request to build a coop. We built it together, painted sage green to match Grace's favorite mug. The neighborhood threw a picnic. Jake filmed a feel-good follow-up. I used the court settlement to build a 2-story chicken palace with skylights and a neon-permitted sign. Locals stopped by to marvel. A schoolteacher brought her class to learn about chickens and property rights. Their thank you card with a "Chicken Boss" drawing now pinned to my barn. Sarah's defeat wasn't just a win, it was a story of drawing a line. A fence that shouted some boundaries aren't up for debate.